festival at an apartment complex in Cleveland that was damaged by an explosion and fire on June 23rd. More than 40 residents had to move. One person was killed. Dion's son put together the festival that included free food, haircuts, and games for kids in the area. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Give people what they want.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we aim to foster enlightening, sustainable, restorative dialogue, and we welcome unapologetically progressive viewpoints that empower fellow citizens. We are now accepting submissions for KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorials like this one.
For the KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorial, I'm Martin Gordon, chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition. Recently, I listened to a Tavis Smiley Show conversation with James Farr. James said something that caught me off guard. Black Altadena is gone. My community is being murdered. I said murdered.
All you have to do is go to our website homepage at KBLA1580.com and click on the icon that says KBLA Guest Editorials to learn more about our editorial standards and content submission guidelines. As long as the topic aligns with our mission, we are happy to review your submission and consider it for broadcast. We can't make any promises, but we want to amplify progressive perspectives that are community-focused and solution-oriented. So, go to KBLA1580.com right now to download all the information you need about our guest editorials. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Thanks for starting your morning off with a voice that speaks truth to power and the powerless, getting to the heart of what matters most in our community. This is where authentic conversation meets real action. From breaking news and politics to culture and community solutions. This is where you hear perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. This is where we come together, get informed, and make change happen. You're inside First Things First with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Good morning, sunshine. You make my day.
Might be smoking on something loud. Head to the clouds. I ain't been stepping out. Tired of sticking out in the crowd. This world is changing right in front of me. Gray hairs, I'm aging quicker than I thought I'd be. Straight up, 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 straight up. These flows teach egos to freeze and then recede. I'm C4 beneath your Jeep. The second you turn that keyhole, the heat blows. Your weak flows right out the water. The father, boy, I work smarter and harder. My style got a restraining order. Don't bother, I charter unseen territories in order to push it farther than you that ever thought. I caught a lot of murder charges, turn artists to martyrs. When I rock, that turns to goddess. Fiends turn to kings, dreams turn to things tangible. My hands are full with grants I pull from stanzas. No, I can't go slow. I'm Sandra Bull. Either proceed with speed or don't breathe. Snow Creed, a color that won't heed to the warning. The planet will shake when I'm performing. Tectonic plates from a place with text on their waist. So stay safe or get left with chest on your faces. Death waits for your last breath. I'ma pass the test. Yes, I'm a master chef. Wanna taste and pay for it. They claim they're real, but they seldom straight for it. The pain I feel on my frame gets transmuted to a dangerous flame. I spit fire at the devil while the angels sing. The flow changed, but remains the same. I'm plain Jane, out of chain on my neck, but shine like baguettes. Ashamed not to flex to rhyme like the rest. My mind's quite depressed if I don't write these. I'm Spike Lee at the audio. Back in my barrio. Parties got shot up, so I built up on my cardio. Dodge shells, collect coins like a Mario. But this is not a game, an experience. I'm serious.
Straight up, KBLA Talk 1580. Good time to call me, 800-920-1580. That J. Cole is fire. That's part of when I talk about being brave, being courageous, being fearless. This is the time to lean on music, the time to lean on arts and culture. You know, go watch Sinners, go listen to this song, any J. Cole, go listen to that Clips album, go listen to Miles Lowe, listen to somebody. Billie Holiday, whatever it is that's going to get you ready to suit up, right? Whatever it is, and it can change from moment to moment to moment. I've been leaning hard on my music. It's like I took a time travel back to my college days when I had to use music to get me out of depression, onto trains, get me to write papers, go to protests. It's the inspiration, whatever that inspiration is, whether it's for you to do your work, protest, or just get up and fight another day.
What's on your playlist these days, dog? What's your go-tos? What are your ones? Like your personal Dominique DiPrima's one. We may have to make a playlist too, by the way.
I mean, it's always Solange. I love Solange. You know, I've been singing that FUBU.
Right.
This is for us all day long. But I like right now. I'm really I want to feed my head with new music. Okay. You know, I'm listening to clips. I'm listening to J. Cole. I'm listening to all the people that are putting out new music, even if I don't keep listening to it. You know, the new Snoop, the new Cube. I'm listening to Jay French, who comes on our show all the time. I actually really like his album. I'm listening to Miles Lowe, believe it or not. I'm in the car listening to Miles Lowe. I want to hear what people are talking about. And especially people like you and Jay, even though I'm always arguing with Jay on the show, if you listen to his music, it's very uplifting. I want people that are telling me things, putting messages in my head that help me, that make me feel inspired, brave. You know, I'm always going to listen to Indie Irie. That's probably my lifetime. And Stevie Wonder, those are my lifetime go-tos, because I know I can put on As and remember that I'll be loving you always. I know that I can put on India and know I am light. I am light. Those are the messages we need in our heads, at least for me, with all of the negativity and headlines. Yeah, I mean, there's more. I don't remember. And then I'll go right from listening to Nipsey, who's another one of my go-tos. Of course, Tupac, always. And it's not just To Live and Die in L.A. It's Tupac, because of his poetry and his ability to go between consciousness and hood reality. But I'll switch up on you and go right and listen to some Nat King Cole. I might put on some Frank Sinatra. I have to follow whatever's going to uplift me in that moment. What about you, Miles? What's your go-to right now?
First of all, shout out to the Clips. That is a crazy album they got.
Right. To be grown and sexy.
Do what?
To be grown. I mean, they're not, they're not children is all I'm saying.
Like to first of all, they're shattering this whole notion of it's a young man's sport. Like they're 50. They're in their 50s, right. 40, late 40s, early 50s, the two of them are. And they're giving you high level hip hop. And first of all, I'm a sucker. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a sucker for like drug dealing, cocaine rap. I think that's like some of the. I think that's Dom. I think that's some of the
cocaine rap is nasty.
That's what it's called. It's coke rap. That's what they're giving you. But it's such a that's alchemy we listening to. We listening to people who've talking about. They're not like glorifying. Oh, I sell crack today. I just sold. You know what I'm saying? Like they're alchemizing their story in a sense. And as a poet,
and it's also
I love
the
that.
skill. I mean, it's the mastery of the word. I do believe you need good messages in your head, but you also need mastery.
Mastery. It's a master class of the skill.
Yeah.
That's a crazy. And on top of that, though, they're in this age where they quote, based off industry standards, they shouldn't be making music at this high of a level, because they're saying you deteriorate and go down and your quality of music goes down. They're breathing life out of that notion into the fact that we got to break that spell and we can still make music as long as we live for.
Well, and in contrast to Will Smith, who everyone's clowning because why is he still rapping at however old he is? I think 50 something. But the thing, if you think about Will Smith, I love him. He's a great guy. He's a nice person. I've interviewed him many times, but he was never known as a master lyricist. He was never Rakim. He was never Kendrick Lamar. He was never J. Cole. That wasn't his thing. He was pop music.
Right, exactly. And he's chasing a whole different wave. You know what I mean? Like Clips are chasing the I guess probably the spirit of times past, I guess, and Will Smith's trying to be present day Will Smith to the industry in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and the thing about it is, I mean, as someone said to me, and off mic, he's earned the right to do whatever the heck he wants.
Sure.
If Will Smith wants to, do the Itsy Bitsy Spider, he can do that. Like, he has already earned the right to do whatever he wants, and artists are going to do art. That's what artists do. Whether you like it or not may or may not be relevant.
Right. But then it also gives, like, a conversation I was having with one of my brothers about, like, there was a time, like, Andre 3000, he did his flute
One
album.
of the greatest of the greats,
One of
who's
the greatest.
also earned the right to do whatever the F he wants to do on any given day.
100%. But there was also I forgot what podcast he was on, but he was saying, "Man, I'm 51 years old. What am I going to talk about? I have nothing to talk about. I don't want to rap. Who wants to hear my story?" And I'm like, Andre, we'll take an album of whatever you want to talk about, because we're here for you. You know what I'm saying? We're here for your mastering, your skill set, and I hope that's the commercial success that the Clips are getting. Similar like how like Nas was a couple years ago winning them Grammys.
Right,
I'm hoping that
right.
this rebirths a lot more of the confidence in our OGs, the sentiment about our OGs, and we can start getting a real, like, this is going to be healing for the culture, I believe.
I hope so. I also think that a lot of people who make music, as they have already, not just music, write books, make movies, but also make music, as they've had the ultimate success and got a lot of money and accolades, they might run out of things to talk about. I mean, it's not just in rap. That happens in R&B and everything, where they have this peak period where they're making all these hits, and then after that, they don't recapture it. Not everybody is Charlie Wilson. It doesn't mean that their other art isn't valid.
Exactly.
But also, some of those folks do get out of touch. They get rich, and what are we doing?
But if
what are we doing with our lives? What is your day-to-day struggle?
The same way we don't want to hear Will Smith talk about the pretty girls, though, you know what I'm saying? But he's still allowed to do it. If Andre wants to talk about his colonoscopy like he said he's going to do, like, nobody wants to hear about we would love, like.
Actually, there are people who probably do want to hear that. I don't know, but is it all about whether or not it's marketable, or if you're an artist, are you just bringing forth your art? I mean, look, radio.
Well, I'm saying we got to heal this spell. We healing the culture from this little spell that we've been under. That's the way it's got to go. Like I said, Stevie Wonder's making music to the day he dies. Clearly, he's gonna do that. Prince made music to the day he dies.
And a bad Stevie Wonder song is better than the greatest song of many others.
More importantly, it's Stevie Wonder. Like, we're not clicking on it because I don't know. Like, I think we're getting to the point where we're not clicking on music with like a preconceived notion if it's going to be good or not, or judge it ahead of time.
Yeah, but buzz is important. I mean, part of the reason the Clips is doing what it's doing is because they have buzz.
It's marketing, and that's a great rollout, and that's a part of the game too. These young cats don't have rollouts; they're just dropping music. They don't have that level of creativity once they get out the studio.
We were talking about Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B. All of a sudden we're all in their relationship lives because they have albums dropping.
Rollout, exactly.
It's clearly strategic. Hopefully they're happy. I hope they're, that they're actually in love or whatever, but maybe not.
And look, Clips was out there in Paris. When you think of Clips, like, there's a certain thing, like, you've done theater.
Yep,
you have
lots of it.
You have to set the stage. You have to set the stage for this great interest. The Clips were doing fashion shows in Paris like a year ago as a rollout to this album. Like, this is a masterclass on producing high level art, and that's still something we can do. We don't have to worry about the hits. We can actually make quality art that is valuable.
And high level buzz too.
Level buzz too, yeah.
I mean, look, pop culture is a young person's game in this country. Radio is one of those things. Maybe not as much talk radio, but radio for sure. So many people that I got into this business with are doing other things now because they've aged out of the game. Especially if you're a woman, and especially if you're black, because there's not that many slots anyway. If you're a white man, you can be on the radio till you're 162, and it's fine. You can be Larry King, who's one of my idols, by the way. Not complaining about him. He's amazing. But most of us don't get to be Larry King.
Right, but we can still keep doing whatever we transition in, still be high level in it. We're watching these people transition into podcast.
Look, I wasn't saying that to give up. I'm still on the mic. I've been here a long ass time. Why? Because people keep listening. And I feel like it's not about me trying to be relevant or adapt to the times. It's about me being genuine and telling the truth.
Oh, not to cut your wisdom right there, but so are you saying you're on the mic still because people keep listening, or because you have something to say still?
I think it's both. I think people keep listening because I have something to say still, and because they know I'm not going to BS them. You might not agree with me. Lots of the KBLA delegation and other folks say, I don't always agree with you. I don't expect you to. That's not a requirement. In fact, there probably would be something wrong with you if you did agree with me all the time. But they can rely on me to tell the truth as I know it. And so you don't have to say not to cut your wisdom, because I always say this is kitchen table conversation. When you're at your kitchen table, you interject with each other. That's how human beings talk, right? Yeah, so jump in. I don't care. It's all good. It's all good. I'm blessed to have someone on the board, our production king, who also has a lot of interesting things to say. And a lot
King,
of
I like, okay.
Production King, you like that title?
LeBron.
Forget czar. Some folks in the chat saying they want soft jazz or church music. But my whole point is whatever inspires you and keeps you brave.
And back to what you asked before, like what's on my playlist. Definitely the clips. You know, I listen to a lot of like my hip hop nowadays to really I guess feed like that warrior spirit that I'm kind of like still keeping, generate. That's kind of what keeps me moving, in my high head space throughout the day, because I feel like we are in a little bit of a time of war in a lot of different ways, especially us as black people. So, stuff like the Nipseys that'll keep keep that warrior spirit alive.
Yeah.
Tupac's, your Kendricks, but I've been big on my Bob Marley lately.
Oh yeah, that's inspiring. And you know what? Sometimes you need a different headspace, and I've been listening to Daniel Caesar a lot.
Caesar,
what a great lyricist he is, man.
I'm
you to a place.
I'm good on like my last generation R&Bs. My Kims, my Sade's have been in my heavy rotation. But since we got back from Africa, the Afro beats have been touching my spirit.
I see. Every time me and Miles don't have a conference about what to play next, here come the Afro beats. I'm not mad at it. E.C. Courtney says, you'll always be an MC, Dominique. Been a fan for decades. Thank you for that. I do think the phone lines are open. We can talk about whatever. This is one of those grab bag Fridays where we're just talking about whatever. And I love it. I do think that I used to say that MCs should retire, that there's a time to hang up the mic. I used to think that. I was, of course, in my 20s when I used to say that. And I was rapping at the time. Now I don't think that. I think people should stay on the mic or stay on their pen or in their studio. And maybe it's because I'm older and I want the ability to do what I want. But I think it's also because I've grown to see that that's a capitalist, consumerist mindset. That's a disposable culture mindset that I had. And I don't agree with it now. I think people, as long as, to your point, Miles, as long as you have something to say and, the ability to say it, express yourself. That's where I am now. 800-920-1580. If you want to express yourself, you are listening to unapologetically outspoken, unapologetically artistic, unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's going to finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, If your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. And I thank you, thank you.
Hey, Ma, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online. I read that black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older, like you, are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
Visit WeTalkWeRise.com to learn more. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Uncle said you must be sick. All you talk about is just get rich. Choke my neck and ice my beat the system with chains and whips.
This is culturally inappropriate.
You run from the spirit of repossession. Too much enamel covers your necklace. I buy, you buy in sections. You buy watches, I buy collections. Misery's fueling your aggression. Jealousy's turned into obsession. Reality TV is mud wrestling. Some sign checks I know better than. Beware of my name that there's delicate. You know I know where you're delicate. Crush you to pieces, I hum a breath of it. I will close your heaven for the hell of it.
KBLA Talk 1580. See, that's that clips. I know you call it cocaine music, but I don't know. I didn't feel that on that song.
We got some
verse. That verse right there.
Some other ones with some cocaine
no doubt.
being pushed.
No doubt. No doubt. Happy Nelson Mandela's birthday.
To the guy, yes, sir.
Yeah. But, you know, it is his birthday today, and happy birthday to him. I just think that these are tough times. I had people calling me yesterday freaking out, and it's happening all the time, and a lot of them are people much smarter, much more powerful than I. And I cram to understand exactly what they are looking for from me. But I think it's what I'm looking for from the music, which is some inspiration, some fortification, someone to say, man, F that. We got this. We are brave. We are bold. We can do this. Someone like my dad, you know, the late and amazing Amiri Baraka, who would say, what time is it? It's nation time.
The thing about you, though, Dominique, you have an actual imagination. You're an original thinker. You know what I'm saying? We got people that are... Their whole career is made off of being a reaction, you know what I'm saying, or being an echo from something they're hearing, or the sound of some place instead of being an original thought. So I think that's a value you have as well, as you get to bring an original thinker's perspective to the world.
So, well, thank you for that, Miles. Means even if I'm wrong, at least it's original.
You said at least Dominique's wrong. At least Dominique didn't hear something wrong and be like, oh, okay, I'll just
repeat what someone else said. Yeah, no, that I do not do. Unless I usually attribute it. And yeah, it's Nelson Mandela's birthday, Miles. So I thought I would attribute this. Nelson Mandela's great-grandson, Maibuye Melisiswe Mandela, is calling on President Trump to send those white South Africans back.
Wants his whites back.
He'll give us back our white people. He said if Trump is honest, he should deport those people because they don't qualify to be refugees in the United States of America. And once they land here in South Africa, we must arrest them. Make it plain. Make it plain. I mention that because it's one of the many things that's really upsetting people, right? And making people feel hopeless and helpless. Another one such thing that came to my attention yesterday as I cranked up my music and danced around my house in between news stories was what is happening with one of the cops that killed Breonna Taylor. They're being recommended to serve one day in prison. And the thing that makes this really, really sucky is that it stems from something that happened here in California. Remember, we talked about Trevor Kirk, the sheriff's deputy who was convicted of police brutality for throwing this black elder woman down and punching her in front of the Winco store. And he was facing up to 10 years in prison. And then the Trump administration circled back under Bill Asalee, who was a former assembly member and fake reparationist, who gave this guy the same plea deal that he would have gotten before he lost his case. And so Trevor Kirk will end up doing almost no time at all when he should have been doing 10 years. Because the Trump administration is creating a playbook where they can let these cops off, even in the very rare cases where they have been held accountable. Very rare, because only 2% of police, when police kill people, only 2% of the time it even goes to court. And a very tiny percentage of those are convictions. So now the Justice Department is asking the federal judge to sentence this former Louisville cop who was convicted of violating Breonna Taylor's civil rights by killing her, Officer Brett Hankison. They want to give him 1 day. 1 day. A 1 day sentence, time served, giving him credit for the day he was booked. And what I'm understanding here is that this is now based on it's some of the same attorneys that were helping get this guy off, this Trevor Kirk guy off, and also that they're using the playbook in California where the feds come in and undo the conviction by way of no accountability, no punishment. And this can now be undoing cop accountability tour that the Department of Justice has launched. They launched it in California, and now they're testing it in Kentucky. These are the things that we have to fight back against by being courageous, by being strong, and by turning up the doggone music. Perfect time to call me, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Protesters rallied Thursday in Good Trouble Lives On marches honoring civil rights icon John Lewis. Kim Combs of Grand Rapids, Michigan was among those who took part.
There's many people that are not losing rights right now yet, or threatened like others, are here standing up for everyone else.
The demonstrations held in over a dozen cities call for justice, unity, and civil rights protections. Congressman Andy Ogles in Nashville, Tennessee is calling for a federal probe into Belmont University over leaked videos showing a staffer discussing renaming its DEI office. Ogles says that violates a Trump order banning DEI in schools. Belmont denies wrongdoing, calling the video misleading. And Damian Lillard is heading back to Portland. The 9-time All-Star has signed a 3-year, $42 million deal with the Trailblazers. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Major League Baseball season resumes today after the All-Star break. The Dodgers are at home tonight against Milwaukee. The Angels are at Philadelphia. The Detroit Tigers open the second half of the season with the best record in baseball at 59-38. The Dodgers have the second best record at 58-39. Chargers wide receiver Mike Williams announced his retirement. The 30-year-old Williams played 7 of his 8 NFL seasons with the Chargers. Williams was struggling to recover from an undisclosed injury from last season. Cleveland Browns rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders hosted a community festival at an apartment complex in Cleveland that was damaged by an explosion and fire on June 23rd. More than 40 residents had to move. 1 person was killed. Dion's son put together the festival that included free food, haircuts, and games for kids in the area. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic.
With the KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorial, I'm Martin Gordon, chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition. Recently, I listened to a Tavis Smiley Show conversation with James Farr. At one point, James said something that caught me off guard. Not because it wasn't true, but because it is. Black Altadena is gone. I know it may seem stupid and non-productive, but I stopped in that moment listening to Tavis and James. I broke down and cried. In the back of my mind, I told myself we can bring it back like it was. But James Farr's reality check hit me like a ton of bricks. My community is being murdered. I said murdered, not by the Altadena Eaton Canyon fire, but by the people we elect to protect us, and by greedy and gatekeeping nonprofits who cannot see the forest for the trees. For the first time since the fire, I truly feel and understand my wife's inconsolable pain. Because I'm struggling to find a path to recovery and at least some form of normalcy. My community is crumbling right in front of my face. Lack of funding to rebuild is slowly destroying us. Many of us can no longer hold out, and developers are gobbling up our property. When I hear voices like Tavis Smiley and James Farr speak truth to power on KBLA Talk 1580, it reminds me that we're not crazy, just unheard. Make no mistake here, KBLA delegation, this is war, and we the people of Black Altadena are losing. It's like waiting for reparation. Not gonna happen, brother. In this new orange man world, no one, no entity is persuaded by right or wrong. There is no consequence for doing the wrong thing, and no accolades or support for doing the right thing. Will war-torn Black Altadena survive? Your guess is as good as mine. But what have I got to lose? I'm in my 70s and don't have time to wait. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once suggested that riots break out when people have no hope. But there is nothing left to burn down in Altadena. I wish I could say I remain hopeful that my beloved community will rise again like a phoenix from the ashes. I wish I could. With a KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorial, I'm Martin Gordon, chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition. Pasadena Community Coalition at gmail.com. Reach out to me. As always, we welcome your feedback.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
You got a big mouth. Hello, Joe, you're up. Welcome.
We're unapologetically progressive, and we don't
Couldn't
back
function.
down.
Experience. Lost in emotion, mama's youngest. Trying to navigate life without my compass. Some experience death and feel numbness. But not me, I felt it all and couldn't function. Seeing you that day, telling you my plans, but I was leaving you that day. It was in God's hands. Yeah, it was at Elon's waiting to get with me. On my way to Texas, that's when Virginia hit me. And I realized in that instant, our last conversation, you was against it. Told you I was going to church for Thanksgiving. I heard what I wanted to hear, but didn't listen. You said you told Jean that Buck needed forgiveness. I see you went to Didi's and stuffed both her fridges. You even told Dad you wished y'all never split it. See, you were checking boxes, I was checking my mentions. Saying you was tired but not ready to go. Basically was dying without letting me know. I love you, Med Naj. Hate that he won't remember you. Two things that break my heart is what November's do. And T follows you. Now mind you, Didi calls you, Jean finds you. Was that your vision? Precision. While I'm reminiscing, it all hits different, ma, listen.
The birds don't sing, the birds don't sing, they screech.
KBLA Talk 1580, more of that clips. Miles, you picked that one. More of that clips.
So it's dope because it's both of them, they're brothers, of course, and they're both talking about like the relationships when both their parents died within a month of each other. So, yeah. First one was Push's verse to the mom, and the second one was Miles' verse to the dad. So it's fire.
Yeah. Well, we're going to stay on that. What makes you inspired? What makes you feel like fighting? What makes you feel like we can get through this? I forgot to say, sir. I should have said Inglewood, sir. I'm going to see him. Wait, I'm going to see him this weekend. I forgot about that. Yes, something to look forward to. So, yeah, I mean, this is a lot of music. And yes, I wasn't kidding about Frank Sinatra. Fly me to the moon. Look, you got to have range. You don't want to be predictable. They're talking, Fahima said she likes Sweet Honey in the Rock. I think it's EC talking about Tina Marie. Yeah, all of that. And also release the Epstein files. Got it. Agreed. Eric from Carson, you have the mic.
Good morning, Dominique.
Good morning.
I just did a little bit of research, and so this police officer who killed Breonna Taylor, the Justice Department is recommending 1 day in sentencing, and so the Department of Justice enforces federal laws. They manage federal prisons. They're there to administrate fair justice, and most significantly, if I have this right, they uphold civil rights.
Yeah, historically, that's been the case.
Right, and so I'm just sitting here. I'm naive. I really am a naive person, but how do you respect the most powerful administration, if I'm saying that right?
Sounds right.
Who would do something like this, and how is it that people who are much more intelligent than me can let this happen?
Well, I mean, that's part of the debate, right? I don't know that anyone saw it coming. Apparently, there's a law in California that says that the state can't prosecute someone that the feds have already let off, or something along those lines. I'm probably saying it wrong. I wish one of my attorney friends would call and clarify. But what is happening right now is typically the federal government would come in and enforce civil rights, like you just said, Eric, right? Think about integration of schools, right? Ruby Bridges, who was escorting those black children into school to integrate those schools. The feds, right? The federal government. But now, under the Trump administration and the new Confederate Republican Party, what's happening is the federal government is the one taking away the civil rights. So we'll have to turn to the state or local government or the power of the people to enforce those civil rights. Because now the Justice Department is in service of white supremacy. Now the Justice Department, where in the past, we think about Rodney King. He couldn't get justice locally, so they took it to the feds. And the federal civil rights case is what forced accountability, right, for the people that beat Rodney King. Well, imagine that today. Today, the Justice Department would never seek accountability against those cops. And we're seeing this with this recommendation of a 1-day sentence for Brett Hankison. Fahima's in the chat saying she thinks the judge will do the right thing and give a real sentence to Hankison, and then Trump will turn around and pardon him. Either way, he gets off. But the point is that things are upside down now, where we used to be able to turn to the federal government to enforce civil rights. Even under Republican administrations, although it was to a lesser degree, it still stood. Now, the world is turned upside down under this Trump administration. The Department of Justice is seeking to strip your civil rights. Their idea of civil rights is reparations for white people who feel they suffered because of immigration, is reparations for white people who feel they suffered because of affirmative action. That is where the Justice Department is. Their portfolio now is enforcing anti-blackness. Their portfolio now is, how do we end diversity, equity, and inclusion? How do we go after even black-led organizations that are supporting black entrepreneurs with venture capital? That is where we are right now, and it's hard for folks to get their minds around. But what we're seeing in Kentucky could potentially be a cookie cutter situation where the Trump administration, I see that as my friend Carrie Harper, who fought really hard for accountability, the civil rights attorney Carrie Harper, points out that this guy Robert Keenan, who's is part of the team trying to get one day for Hankinson, was a federal prosecutor in Los Angeles who argued that Trevor Kirk shouldn't serve any prison time in that Winco case. So clearly they have created a formula and they're taking it around the country to use it, and the world is upside down right now.
Well, I have a follow-up final question. I'll make a statement and then a question real quickly. If I call in to do business with anybody and I'm not happy with the service that I get, the first thing that comes out of my mouth, I'm known for this, is, let me speak to your supervisor. And I do that because I feel like a supervisor is going to give you the real deal. They're going to do what's appropriate because that's what they're there for. A worker may or may not do that. So now the federal government is the supervisor, and I have to go to a lower agency, the state, to get the boss to do their job. That doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense, but short of people power, us hitting the streets, and or regime change, that's kind of where we are. I mean, that's kind of where we are. Now, if the feds fail in their quest to get supposed inspections of voting machines and get voter rolls in their attempt to, cheat on the midterms, then we could see at least Congress going back to the hands of Democrats. We could, although the Democrats are serving up pretty weak sauce right now. But right now, that's where we are. You can't go to the supervisor. The supervisor is the KKK. The supervisor is El Diablo. May I speak to your supervisor? Yes, it's me, the devil. How may I help you? That's where we literally are right now, Eric. It's not complicated. Let's see. What shall we sentence one of the men who killed Breonna Taylor to? 1 day. In what world, in what universe, in what ethic, moral, legal, social, political, financial universe is that correct? Only for the devil is that correct. The devil is the supervisor. So call and speak to the supervisor if you want to. Let me know how that goes for you. Let us pray.
There's got to be an answer, and the only thing that comes to me is what you just said. The people have got to stand up or fall for anything.
People power. It's the only answer. Link just DM'd me and he says, the reason why the people are feeling the way that they're feeling is because, unfortunately, we have a PhD in our professional victims. I told you that then we're not reacting other than talking about these things that they're doing to us until we start fighting back, like really fighting back. They're going to continue because otherwise they'll just tie things up in the courts and just keep tying things up. We got to fight back. I think the ancestors would agree. That's what I am saying. That's why I started and I'll finish every day show between now and the big McDonald's burger in the sky. Whatever causes regime change, in other words, whatever causes the prevalence of our democratic republic, I'm going to keep saying it. We've got to be courageous because we are the last line of defense. The Supreme Court is shot. Now we're getting decisions where it's Ketanji Brown versus everybody. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to impeach her. When I say we don't know what we don't know, we don't know what we don't know. We don't know what pressures are on her. She's making these dissents. Now, Amy Coney Barrett is clapping back. They're trying to isolate her and make her seem like she's not a legitimate scholar. We don't know what we don't know, but we do know this. The Supreme Court is shot. Congress is useless for the most part. Democrats are suppressing the only forces that they have that could beat this onslaught. The AOCs, the Bernies, the Zoran Mondamis, they're scared of them. So they're working with Republicans to kill the solution to the problem. So what does that leave, Eric? It leaves we, the people of the United States, we, the people of the world. And I know some of y'all are like, well, the 92%, we did our job, we're going to sit this one out. No, we're not. We're not going to sit this one out. We're already back in these streets. We're not going to sit this one out because if we do, El Diablo wins.
Well, I can dummy it down. I'll close with this. I can dummy it down to what I learned as a young man. The first thing is that nothing lasts forever. Tomorrow is going to bring a change. And a bully, the worst thing that a bully fears is someone who's going to fight back.
Mm-hmm. That's why we have to be brave. We can't be cowed. We will not cower. It's not that time. My dad called it nation time. Whether your nation is progressives, black people, people that care about the environment, humanitarians, people from the age of Aquarius, Afrofuturists. It's nation time, man. It's not time to cower. Like Audre Lorde said, your silence will not protect you, so speak the heck up. Stand up. Right. You can only kill me once. God is my source.
I love it.
And I think that's where we have to be. It took me a minute because it's a lot coming at us. But, we got to be brave. Courage is courageous. Let's spread it around. Faster than RFK can spread the measles. We spread in courage. Appreciate the call, Eric.
Thank you, Dominique.
Eric called me at 800-920-1580. I encourage you to do the same. It's not too late. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than Saquon Barkley, the NFL's reigning leading rusher. I'm also the NFL's leading husher. Shh, hush up back there. Wow, I might have just set the hushing record. Well, almost. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we aim to foster enlightening, sustainable, restorative dialogue, and we welcome unapologetically progressive viewpoints that empower fellow citizens. We are now accepting submissions for KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorials like this one.
With the KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorial, I'm Martin Gordon, chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition. Recently, I listened to a Tavis Smiley Show conversation with James Farr. James said something that caught me off guard. Black Altadena is gone. My community is being murdered. I said murdered.
All you have to do is go to our website homepage at KBLA1580.com and click on the icon that says KBLA Guest Editorials to learn more about our editorial standards and content submission guidelines. As long as the topic aligns with our mission, we are happy to review your submission and consider it for broadcast. We can't make any promises, but we want to amplify progressive perspectives that are community-focused and solution-oriented. So, go to KBLA1580.com right now to download all the information you need about our guest editorials. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Wow, we got some breaking news right now here in Los Angeles. At least 3 people dead. There's an explosion apparently at the LA Sheriff's Department facility in Monterey Park. This is their SEB compound where they keep their special enforcement units, the bomb squad. Looks like something might have exploded right near a law enforcement vehicle. The fire department is on the scene. We don't have other details available, but keeping an eye on that on this Friday. At least 3 dead in that explosion. And that's a sheriff's department facility here in Los Angeles. I'm sure we'll keep you posted on breaking developments in that situation as the day goes forward. This reportedly happened about a little over an hour ago here in Los Angeles. It is the birthday of Nelson Mandela. One way that you can take advantage of that or celebrate that is with the UN. They're having a virtual global concert. It is the UN Chamber Music Society, and it is International Nelson Mandela Day. So you can go on the UN's YouTube channel if you want to celebrate this virtual concert with them for his birthday. That is today, taking place today, and it's free, obviously. I really felt like I got a different insight on Nelson Mandela and his legacy. And by the way, that starts this morning. I think it goes on throughout the day. Just by traveling to South Africa and having the conversations, both political and personal, on the ground and where we are, now, as well as the visit to the massive apartheid museum, which would take literally, you could spend 2 weeks every day going through their exhibits and you wouldn't see everything that there is to see there. So happy birthday to Nelson Mandela. And I agree with his grandson. Send them white supremacists back. How are they with his grandson? How are they qualified to be refugees in any real world? Interesting that the grandson made this announcement while wearing a keffiyeh in solidarity with the people of Gaza. Let's go to Kwamel calling us from Gardena. Wow, Kwamel, getting in at the last minute on a Mercury retrograde Friday.
Oh man, it's sorry, good sister. Just kind of heard some of the message of the last segment about how do we, get through this and all that, and I'm struggling with a thing, kind of a boneheaded mistake I made at work, and I want to tie it into, I guess, our greater American message, if you will, because my thing is, that I care about the people, and the thing I want to do is err on the side of making things right. And sometimes doing that, sacrificing self may have to come into play. Like, okay, am I still going to be at this work? Anything like that? No, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. But my point is, I care about the people, and I care about that they get a good result. So, in the same token, with where we need to go, getting out of this boorish, Trump foolishness, is finding people that the thing they care about first is making it right. Not whether they're in power, not whether they make some money, but finding the folks that are ready to make it right for everybody and pressing them into doing that. It can't be all this just not care and whatever happens garbage that got us into this in the first place. We gotta press everyone around us. Like, look, almost on some Raider stuff. It doesn't seem to work there. A commitment to excellence. You know what I mean?
Well, when you say a boneheaded mistake at work, how does that tie into what you're saying? It's just got you feeling a way, or it's related to it directly?
Well, because it's a matter of, okay, like you do things wrong, but like Tavis once said, you started out wrong, you're trying to end up right. You know what I'm saying? So it's a matter of what are you doing to solve problems, to fix them and improve what's happening for everyone involved.
Yeah.
So that we're all happy and so that we're all surviving this and being better going forward.
I got you.
LeBron said be better tomorrow. It's like, okay, you screw a thing up one day. Now it's get to the work of
I got you. Well, it's time for the best of Tavis Smiley. You're right, though. Start wrong and right. And I wish you the very best, whatever that controversy in the situation is that you're dealing with. Also seeing here that the 3 people dead at that sheriff's department facility are all sheriff's deputies. So something crazy happened over there, and we'll keep you posted. Again, Kwamel, I know that you're going to come out right, because you are one of those ones who just keeps coming and is a creative force to be reckoned with. And if you want to talk more about it, call me next week or hit me up on social media. I'm at DiPrima Radio, DiPrima, and then radio. We're at KBLA 1580, and then radio. And we are all available all the time, not just when we're on the mic. The best of Tavis Smiley's next. He's got an incredible show on tap for you today with the highlights from the week that was. And let's keep talking on socials. I'm Dominique DiPrima. Like my mama used to say, history is now, and we are making it together. Until next time, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Protesters rallied Thursday in Good Trouble Lives On marches honoring civil rights icon John Lewis. Kim Combs of Grand Rapids, Michigan was among those who took part.
There's many people that are not